Hello, and welcome to Eating with Dagmar. And today, let's talk about liver. Not just your liver and how to keep it clean, but eating liver, raw liver, not cooked. So there is before I say anything, I'm not a physician. Please consult your whoever is your white coat guru before you do any of these things. But well, actually, I was pre-med. My mother was a physician. That gives me a little something. But no, really, I'm just uh, a kitchen creator. So raw liver. Why why do people not eat it? Because it's gross. That's why I didn't eat it. For me, even cooked liver is gross. Um, I have a texture thing. Oh, I have a phone message. Um, so there is a myth that goes around about liver that it's toxic, that you shouldn't eat it because it's full of toxins that it's cleaning out from your body. But your liver doesn't store these toxins. Your liver, basically the toxins only pass through your liver. So the liver has some amazing loaded with all kinds of fat soluble vitamins and minerals. So it's like a um, neutralizing factory through which toxins pass. They go in and then they come out more neutralized. That's kind of a simplistic way of putting it, but that's the basic idea. So it's not like toxins come into the liver and they just stay there and store and store and store. Um, you know, that doesn't make sense now, does it? So let's see, what else was I going to say? Like when you eat liver, it literally rearranges your chemistry, your hormonal, um, your brain chemistry. It's almost like your body gives you a dopamine hit after eating liver, just to kind of let you know that this is a great thing. You just keep doing that's like your reward. uh, but really, when you eat liver, and small amounts, we'll talk about the amounts in a moment, but it's um, it's like high without the caffeine. Like you like your chocolate or your coffee, where liver will give you that sense of energy and vitality without having to pay for it later. Um, so what else did I want to say about liver? Like I said, it's very high in fat soluble vitamins and minerals like vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin E, vitamin K, all of these. And one of the things that these particular fat soluble vitamins are really good is if you have any teeth issues or bone issues. They're basically all together, they help build strong bones. That's why athletes sometimes eat liver. They even do liver shakes, which I can't do. So I'm going to show you my way. I mean, if I was dying or something, if I was really sick, yes, I would do it. But I'm not, so I'm not going to do it. I'm going to do it the pussy way. I'm going to show you how I do raw liver. Now, if you're tough and if you're like, you don't care what anything tastes like and you just feel like I want the vitality of it, then go for it. You could just take a piece of liver and do it straight. Uh, I'm not. So, what was I going to say? Oh, yeah. And the other thing that people are concerned about with raw meat in general, about parasites. And yeah, I mean, you should be concerned about that. That's why I really want to make the distinction that when you're doing raw meats, raw eggs, um, it's very different if you're doing, let's say, these raw proteins or raw fats, but you're also eating tons of grains because the grains provide food for the parasites. So generally, according to the terrain theory, which Agenas van der Planets, whose work I continue to follow, was supporting that theory. When you eat foods that have parasites or bacteria or whatever on them, basically they do what they got to do in your body. If you have dead tissue in your body, they will stay around, they will multiply, and clean out, for example, certain funguses like I believe it's candida. People who have high metal toxicity, um, they will often have candida, which comes there to help clean that out. But then, of course, we kill the candida. But the reason it may go on longer than necessary, the cleanup, is because people keep eating grains. So if you, let's say you're eating raw fish and you eat some parasite, if you were just eating raw meat, raw fats, some raw fruits, very few, maybe some vegetable juices. If you're not eating any grains and cooks, cooked foods basically, especially cooked starches, then the parasite does what it has to do. If there's dead tissue in there, it'll eat it and clean it up, but it doesn't have anything to keep wanting to stay around. So if that makes sense, that's why I say, caution when you do these things. If you're just like eating your normal type of diet and you're eating, out all the time, or you're just having your bread with your butter at the restaurants, then I wouldn't experiment with doing raw meats and raw fish and anything, that's protein and raw. So, is that all I was going to say about that? So yeah, so that little thing being aside, you can also freeze your liver, not your liver, freeze the liver that you buy, and that does mitigate some of the parasites if there are any in there. Like if you're unsure, like if you still are eating some crappy grains and things like that. I mean, they're not crappy. It's just, everybody's used to it. We're doing it. But when you go into this world of really addressing your terrain, you get a lot better results when you're not mixing too much of that, especially grains, and legumes, same difference. Both of them raise your glucose level, and then you have to create. I mean, it's just a whole. I've done many videos about this. I'm not going to get into that. So the liver eating is a good thing to do in the winter because it's extremely high in vitamin D, which in the winter, especially if you're living in the northern hemisphere or really far down in the southern, you don't get enough sun exposure during the winter. So it's a really good time to do some liver. And so the amount of it to do, it all depends where you are in your life. Like if you're a young woman who is menstruating and wanting to get pregnant, you can do it maybe 2 or 3 times a week. If you're a man who's young and very active, I'd say once a week because, it's also high in iron, very high in iron and copper. And if you're a post-menopausal woman, then you want to do it less, maybe, but in smaller amounts. There's people online over there you could see who just like eat a whole liver once a week. There's this Dutch guy, very handsome young man, and he's eating it straight, just with his knife piece straight. it's some of you men folks may be into that. I find that women generally, we don't like to go and bite into a piece of liver. So I'm going to do it the more delicate way. And I do liver shots. You need a shot glass for this. And you need some raw milk, always room temperature, never cold, right? I hope you know that by now. And then you need some liver. So let me see, is there anything else I wanted to say about the liver? Okay, I said the parasites. No, I think that's it. So now for the show, let the liver eating show begin. So the way that I do, it's so hard to find fresh liver. Like, I don't know, unless you're on a farm and the cow just gets slaughtered, then you would have fresh liver. So what I do is I get it frozen and then I let it defrost just a tiny bit, but while it's still mostly frozen, I cut it into many pieces. And this might be like one dose for me, because I am a woman of certain years where you know, I, it would not be good for me to have too much liver. So what I do is I put it into many little bags, and maybe I'll figure out another system. Then I stick a straw in there and I suck out the air. But I guess I could use a vacuum machine. But anyway, so this way, maybe every couple of weeks, or if I feel a little, you know, like I have a little lull in my energy, which is very rare, but I can feel it, right? Then I will pull out and have some liver shots. So each little piece, and liver melts really fast when it's frozen, and it's much easier to cut when it's frozen. When it gets soft, it's much harder to cut it, but you can still cut it. But anyway, so I'm gonna save this for tomorrow. So what I do is I have 3 in here, so I'll do every day I'll do a little piece for 3 days in a row, and that will, and then I won't do it for 2 weeks or 3 weeks. So here I have my little piece of liver. I have it on a plate now, and I'm going to cut it into little pill-size pieces. So, and just really little pieces. Oh, and another thing, I think I mentioned this before. Protein, you don't need to chew. You don't need to chew protein. It, because it does not break down in your mouth. It breaks down in your stomach. So you know how when you see a cat or dog, you know, they'll just inhale their food and you're like, dang, what the? Well, you can pretend you're a cat or a dog, because all the acids are in the stomach, and that's where protein is broken down. So you see, I cut it into a bunch of little pieces, and the thing is that when you do this, I found that I always have to put, this is probably more for the ladies than for any men, because for men probably this looks ridiculous, but so I put a little bit of milk at the bottom, because if I don't and I put the liver in straight, then it'll stick to the cup and I'll shoot it and the liver will stay in there. So all that preparation for nothing. And maybe one day I won't find this so challenging to do. I mean, it's not like, you know, so I'm taking a little, like maybe 4 little pieces. I put them in there. And then, so this will take me about 3 or 4 swallows. Then I add the milk. And I'm not going to chew it or try to taste it or anything. I'm just going to shoot it straight up, and hopefully I'll make it look easy. Hopefully I won't be like nervous and suddenly spit it all out. Okay, here we go. 1 down. So now I'm going to put in some more of these, another, let's say, and now you don't have to put any milk on the bottom because there's still some left so it doesn't stick. Okay, 2nd shot, and make sure that it's room temperature, that it's not cold milk. We don't want that. That actually can really give you an upset stomach. All right, second shot. Oh, a piece did stay, but most of it went down. Okay. This just might be a 4 shot. Oh no, maybe this will be it. Okay, so now the last one. And really, you can't taste it, nothing. You just have to put yourself in the right state of mind. It's like a liver swallowing meditation. You can't think too long. You can't contemplate. You just gotta do it. And then, oh, see, I'm already feeling the of it, the energetic of it coming into my body. Ooh, wow. I still had some left at the bottom. So I will have to do 4 shots. Okay. All done. Liver is down and yeah, wow. I don't know what it is about it. I mean, and I don't enjoy it. And by the way, when I was cutting the liver the first time that I put it into the little bags, I meditated over it. I scented gratitude and love. I don't take it lightly that I'm swallowing a cow's liver. And it really brings to my consciousness the idea that if I'm going to be eating other life, that I gotta really make sure that it inspires me. I almost feel like it's a debt that I owe to the animal, that I live my life with integrity, with love, with full presence and generosity, and being here fully as a human being for everyone. So that's the liver transmission, and try it. And I'd love to know what your experience was, how you felt afterwards and during and before, and if it changes anything, and if you can feel your mood shift. So, yeah, thank you for watching. See you soon.